At some point, we all kind of, I guess, catch ourselves reminiscing about our past. Um, Whether it's like, our high school days, we were on top of the world, um, school clubs, our friends, like past friends, college, relationships, friendships, first job, or like good childhood memories, like, when on Saturday morning you could eat Fruit Loops and watch cartoons for 3 hours. Um, Definitely, yeah. I guess we get to a point like sometimes where we kind of feel that I don't like my present situation right now. Why can't it be like it was before? Why can't it be like the good old days back in the day? Um, so this kind of brought to my attention in two ways. First, some time ago, I saw a SpongeBob meme that it was a picture of Squidward. It said your life during elementary school. It showed him like there's rainbows, sunshine, everything was great, and then it said your life now. It just showed him like the fetal position, like he was like traumatized, like you know. Um, so yeah, and then so the article that I saw, I saw an article in Power to Change today. It was about nostalgia, nostalgia. Um, so what that is sentimental longing or wishful affection for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. So yeah, basically, yeah. So the article is written by a guy who he came to terms with how he kept like reminiscing about uh, his high school days when he was playing sports and he was like doing really good in sports and like those tense moments in the game. Um, he would just kind of like relive those over and over again in his mind. And he got to a point where God confronted him about it because it wasn't healthy for him. He was not living in the present. Um, so for him, he started to realize that it gave him unrealistic expectations of present. Um, that he should always be living in this like glorious, you know, high dopamine moment. Every moment of his life, he should be living like that. And he was all like, "Why am I not doing this? This is bothering me. Life's boring now." And he was just basically wasting his time. So I remember Joyce Meyer. She said in I think her book Power Thoughts, "Wherever the mind goes, the man follows." It's definitely true. Um, so he made a point when he was talking about his frustrations going through this and how Jesus says in the Bible, "I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly." Yes, that's very true. That's very true. And but that doesn't mean every moment's going to be a blast. Like have you ever heard the song? Life is a highway. I want to ride it all my life. You know, like that song, for example, that gives us unrealistic expectations. And let's be honest, they were probably high when they were writing it. Just saying. Um, so as I talked about, like in some of my previous videos, um, we're gonna go through periods. We're gonna go through hardships. We're gonna go through trials. That's a reality in our walk with God. There's gonna be times period where Jesus is gonna weep with us, and periods when Jesus is gonna jump for joy with us. But a lot of us were just so stuck on that joyful moment because it's a human thing. When we have those moments, it gives us, and even when we think about it, it gives us a dopamine increase. Like dopamine is part of the like reward pleasure neurotransmitter chemical inside your brain. So yeah, it makes us feel, makes us feel great. And yeah, who wouldn't want that? Um, but we are also going to experience times that we're going to feel like it's bland, and it feels like nothing's really going for us. It's kind of just like we're living life day by day, and it's just like we don't have that excitement, which this definitely can get people into a lot of trouble. I have a neighbor that I know. I'm not naming names, but at one point, like this was a family we were pretty close to. At one point, I thought like they had a good marriage. They were like really active with their kids. They're involved. And at one point, she said, she's got a point where she's like, "I'm bored of life. I'm bored of my marriage." This happened to be after her mom died. I'm bored. I want to live life in the fast lane. And she ended up leaving her husband and going with a new guy. And yeah, it just completely harmed her family, her kids. But that's an example of how the devil could use something like that, like just wanting excitement you know, to destroy us, to cause us to sin and just like mess with us. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have at time periods bland periods, and yeah, definitely that's where temptation can come in. But that's also a time period where God could be really trying to communicate with us. He could really be wanting us to use that time to grow in our faith, to read our Bible, and you know, just grow closer to Him. Often when we're just like daydreaming about the past, we can usually miss like what's right in front of us. God could be saying, I want you to do this, and we can just like totally be missing it because we're oblivious. Um, I always hear this a lot when it comes to like singleness, and definitely I've dealt with this too before, where people are like, "Oh, I want to be in a relationship, I want one," but they miss the benefit of what this period in your life how God could use that to grow you and make you a better person. Um, and just going back to what I said about like the bland period, um, I think a lot of people, despite like all the the huge mental health crisis we're going through and all the past trauma people have, I feel like there's a lot of people will like they may even drink or use like illicit drugs to just to kind of like they don't want to deal with this reality amongst other stuff. So they do this, but it only digs the hole deeper. Just as well as I said, I brought up the example of the lady who left her husband because she wanted to live like a lavish, cool lifestyle. That only makes her problems get worse. So yes, Christ came to give us an abundant life, but He give us abundant life. But we're called to, He came so that we could be free from nostalgia. So that we don't have to be like trying to chase all these like earthly pleasures. I mean, not to say that the good moments we have in life, they're good, they're great. God created us for pleasure, but we shouldn't be living every moment to try to have a huge dopamine increase. That's not what God made us for either. So we're called to praise God in moments of great joy, suffering, and during the bland moments. You know, ask God, like if you're in this period right now, ask God to work in your life, in a different way that He hasn't. Ask God to strengthen your bond, your covenant with Him, and you know, to be able to see things or do something that He wants you to do. That maybe you couldn't do before when it was a much busier period or stressful period in your life. So yeah, definitely So anyway, I got this quote from, who was this? Henry T. Blackaby. He wrote a book, and in it, he said, "Never allow your heart to question God's love. Settle it on the front end of your quest to know Him and experience Him. He loves you. Every dealing He has with you is an expression of His love for you. God would not be God if He expressed Himself in any way other than the perfect love. What you believe about God's love for you will be reflected in how you relate to Him. So if you really believe God is love, you will also accept that His will is always best. You know? So let's say you have a disappointment about something. You didn't get that promotion. Well, maybe God could be, for example, God could be, protecting you because maybe you could mess up and get fired, for example. Um, Or let's say that, again, going back to the thing, if you're single and, someone rejected you or didn't show interest in you, you know, that could be a period where God could be protecting you from, a potential tragedy or something that could go wrong in a relationship, or even like a friendship that's like, that's ended. God could use that too. Um, so, you know, let's say, for example, let's say it's a friendship that's ended, say, ask God, you know what, this may not be exactly where, pray to God and say, this may not be exactly where I want to be, but, I thank you, God, for the time that I had, and, I just release this person to you. Or I give to you that opportunity that I couldn't get, and I ask whoever got that opportunity that you would bless them and help them be a blessing to others through this position, that you would work through them. And Lord, continue to work through me where I'm at right now in this time period that's not too exciting, but you are God and you've created me for a purpose and you do have a plan for me. And, speak to me what you want to say, what you want me to know, and do what you want in this time period, Lord, because I know that your will is best for me. So, another thing I just saw in the article, I'm going to put the article in there below, was that he mentioned about how heaven's going to be where we're going to be ultimately fulfilled in heaven when we're in paradise with God forever. And that's going to be the place where, all those nostalgia moments, those reminiscing moments are just going to be like, everything's going to be fulfilled, according to God's plan. So, yeah, that's all I have to say right now. Thank you so much. God bless you for watching. Like this video, comment if you liked it. If you didn't like it, let me know. Give me constructive criticism. I need that. Hit that subscribe button below. Share this video with someone who would need it. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.